Welcome to Theme Weavers, your weekly wisdom for weaving yoga themes into your classes to inspire your students. We're your hosts, Heidi
and Farin. Welcome to episode 10 of Theme Weavers. Today we're going to talk about Asteya, the third yama mentioned in the Yoga Sutras, which is found in Sutra 2.37. In case this is the first episode you're listening to, please check out episode 2 of Theme Weavers podcast for details and background on the structure of how and why to weave themes through your yoga classes. If you choose to use today's teaching on Asteya, non-stealing, as your theme, while using the gift of our Inspo sheet, then please find a way to turn our voices into yours. Make this theme authentic to you specifically.
All right. Well, before I can get into this, of course, all I can hear is how you say Asteya on your own mat when you teach this idea to your students, Farin. But it's such a cute way to help us remember what Asteya is about in a creative way, because Asteya means non-stealing. So why does your cute phrase help us remember this? Well, let's get into that in a second after I jump into what this is all about in our yoga practice. If the word yoga means to unite or connect, essentially to become whole, then we practice all the parts of yoga to come closer to the feeling that we have when we are whole and enough within ourselves. So then how does Asteya, this idea of non-stealing, play into that? The need to steal essentially arises because we have a lack of faith in ourselves to be able to create what we need by ourselves. The moment we start to feel a sense of lack in our lives, we start to feel sensations of desire, of want, of greed, and we begin to look for something to fill that empty sensation as if something were missing. So then where do we find this idea of stealing in our practice? This is where your cute phrase comes in, Farin, right?
Yeah, we got to Asteya on our own mats.
Yeah, we have to stay on our own mat so that we don't sit there comparing ourselves to others and stealing from our own experience. Or maybe we push past our edge to do something we think we should be doing that we are not quite able to yet. Or we might steal our ability to be present with the postures and with ourselves for exactly the way things are in that moment. If we allow ourselves to be open and accepting to how our practice is in this moment on our mats, we never feel as though we're losing out if some of our asanas, our postures, are a little out of reach at the moment. It's never the postures we are able to do that define our practice, but the amount of awareness that we bring to them. It's not just about refraining from taking what doesn't belong to us. It's about respecting the boundaries and possessions of others. Why is Asteya so important in our yoga journey? Consider the times when you felt envious or found yourself taking what's not rightfully yours. It can lead to a sense of emptiness, a feeling of guilt, and imbalance in our lives. When we practice Asteya, we create space for gratitude and for generosity.
Yeah, so let's talk about the problems that can be solved when we practice Asteya, non-stealing. Think about the times when jealousy or greed have clouded your judgment or caused conflict in your relationships. Asteya helps us to let go of these negative patterns and embrace a sense of trust, both in ourselves and others and the universe. Just trust that the universe has you. I also know what it's like to compare myself to others in yoga classes and how that feels, and also how it can lead to physical and emotional
Oh
injury.
my God, yes, yes, yes. Did I tell you? I think I've told you this about a whole class that I took going between child's pose and Supta Baddha Konasana for like a 90-minute practice. And all I was thinking about is that nobody else was doing this and what a dork I was and how like I need to be able to do the things that the other people around me are doing. And I was so envious that they could keep going and I just couldn't at that point in time. And all I was doing was harming myself by doing that, by comparing and feeling envy over how other people were able to keep going.
Yeah, and so you kind of like stole the experience from yourself with
100%.
just being caught up in your head.
100%. I couldn't even
Yeah.
just be present. I was just so busy stealing from others' experiences and wishing they were mine.
Dang.
Live and
Yeah,
learn.
tell us more about these challenges that you might face when practicing Asteya.
Yeah, it's totally not easy. I think it's really challenging because it requires self awareness. It asks us to acknowledge our desires and understand their impact on our lives. We might also face societal pressures that encourage consumption and competition. I mean, I say may even face that, but like we do. Society definitely pressures that. Do you think?
Yeah, and like with social media, it's like right there in our face all the time.
Right there. Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, no, it's easy to want what other people have and to believe that if you just have that, that you'll be happy when that's not what's going to make you happy.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But if we practice Asteya, we can see some really cool results. It's like opening the door to abundance, gratitude, and contentment. You'll find that you're no longer burdened by envy or the desire for more, the desire for what someone else has. Instead, you experience fulfillment through respecting the possessions and boundaries of others. You realize that there's no need to want what isn't yours or what isn't even meant for you because the universe is already providing you with what you need. You experience contentment.
I love how all of these things have so much to do with other things. And I know that didn't really make a ton of sense, but I'm sitting here thinking about when you just said how there's no need to want what isn't yours or what isn't even meant for you. And it makes me think about aparigraha when we eventually learn about that
Mhm.
one and talk about that as a theme, and how grasping and desiring what's not yours is what causes our suffering.
Yeah, these are all
They're
connected.
all connected. They really are. It's pretty cool. So maybe some of our thematic through lines that we'll weave throughout the class could be: where do you steal from yourself? Where are you leaking time and taking from what you truly need? Or keep your eyes and your mind on your mat today. Drop the comparison to others or what you once could do. Comparing to yourself and who you used to be is like a big thing. People say to me all the time, I once was able to do this. I was so flexible when I was younger.
Yeah, and so then you're stealing from your present day experience, just comparing yourself to what you used to be able to do.
Yeah, which causes suffering in that moment.
Yep. And another thematic through line phrase we could use is my favorite one,
A
Asteya
stay.
on your mat.
Yes. Oh my God. How did I not share that one? I just needed
So
you
punny.
had to share it, obviously. That's why.
I had to.
Hmm.
Cool. So you can grab those phrases on our inspo sheet found at themeweaversyoga.com/episode 10. We also have some inspirational quotes that remind us of Asteya, some songs that help bring the theme to life, mantra, mudra, pranayama, some layering postures, and even a meditation that you can weave into your class.
So, Farron, do you have any ideas? I mean, if this is like your big favorite little phrase, a stay on your own mat, what kind of a peak pose would you teach for that?
My favorite peak pose to teach with Asteya is mermaid pose. So it's the one where you get into it like from half pigeon and then like your torso is like lifted up and you're reaching back with your right hand for your right foot. Like you have a bent right knee.
So it's like a
Does that make
quad
sense?
stretch. It's like a quad stretch
Yeah.
of the
But then
backside.
you slide your foot into your elbow crease and then you link your fingertips together behind your head.
I like how you're saying you because you think my body would be able to do that. I don't think my body can do that.
Mermaid pose is so hard, but here's the thing. When I teach all level classes, which I do all the time, all of our classes are all level classes. You have some people who can get into mermaid pose, but then there's so many layers up to it. So even if they just stay in half pigeon pose,
Which
that's
is
enough.
like even hard for some people.
It is even hard for some people. That's so true. So I would like give them blocks and props to like help them in their pigeon.
Hmm.
And then there's all these progressions to get all the way up to mermaid pose. So that's where I remind them, Asteya on your mat. You have to just take care of what your body is able to do and don't look around you. Don't compare yourself to other people and what they're doing. Literally keep your eyes on your own body, your own mat, your own posture.
I have a question about that. What do you think about letting people look around but find like joy in what other people in the room are able to accomplish without having it steal from how they feel about what they're able to accomplish for themselves?
I think if they're able to do that without stealing from themselves, then that's a great practice.
Like, wouldn't
But
that
I
be
think it could
cool?
be like extra tempting. Yeah, no, that's super cool. I love that idea. Like, but that's like a super challenging practice at the same time.
Yeah, but now
We want to get really, really hard.
I feel like we should teach that though. I've never taught that. I've always been like, don't compare yourself and stay in your own lane instead. But what if I flipped the script, right? And had them
Yeah.
actually still look around and feel joy for what other people are able to do, or even what other people aren't able to do, and recognize that they're staying where they need to be. So, like, celebrate other people without that taking away from their own feelings for themselves.
Yeah, that's so good. And it even goes back to the practice of ahimsa, of like what their self-talk sounds like.
Heck yeah.
Don't be hard on yourself,
And be true to yourself that, like, I can't do this today. And that's okay for me to acknowledge.
that's satya. See, we're just building all these yamas
Oh
built
my
into one
gosh.
practice. Love it.
Absolutely love this stuff. Love it. I
We're
love
so
talking
good at
about
this.
it. We're not humble or anything. Uh,
Which sutra is that? Which yama is being humble?
um, I don't know. Uh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We could
We'll get
try
there
and,
later.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's wrap this up for you all. So as you wind down your physical practice and you're getting ready to walk off of your mat, we have this beautiful opportunity to continue our practice, right? Every moment that we walk about in our day is a opportunity to have this new way of showing up in our lives, a new opportunity to bring awareness to exploring Asteya and showing up for ourselves and others without trying to take what does not belong to us. As you walk off of your mat, can you set this intention of exploring beyond your asana to continue your practice of Asteya? And perhaps even doing this with a little bit of joy, can we show up in our lives and celebrate others for their own experiences without feeling like that's stealing from our own feelings that we have for ourselves in that process?
I love that. That reminds me of Sutra number 1.33. I think we'll do that in a future episode, so I don't even want to get into it. But if you have a Yoga Sutra book, look up 1.33 and it's all right there.
Well, now I'm like super curious. I love that you
It's
just
so
like
good.
whip out the sutra number without thought.
Boom. I
You
have them. Some of them, they're just in there.
know what? That doesn't steal. I'm not stealing from you. I think that's amazing that you're able to do that. And it's okay. And my truthfulness that I cannot just memorize suture numbers like that. And I am so happy and impressed that you can do this. And I celebrate you.
I think we make a great team.
Hmm.
You can grab our inspo sheets at themeweaversyoga.com/episode 10 to help bring Asteya alive in your own voice and in your own practice and teaching. Then reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, or email and let us know how it lands. We're here to support you, fellow yoga teacher, in your class preparation and delivery. So let us know how we can best support you. Tune in next week for another episode of Theme Weavers so that you can feel prepared to go on and inspire your students in your next class. Until next time.
We